Okay, hello and welcome to Altis, and this will be my first tutorial. I'm hoping this will be one of many, but I'm not brilliant at scripting, I will be honest, but this is just one thing that I have been able to get vaguely down to pat, and that I've seen a lot of requests for tutorials and whatnot in the forums, via other channels in the community, and this is going to be the ORBAT, as you can tell by the name of this scenario. I've just created the ORBAT tutorial video. Now, the ArmA 3 campaign has seen the introduction of a new module called the ORBAT, and it basically lets you see, you get to see all the NPCs or all the units that are supposedly in play in the campaign or in a mission. I've got a little ORBAT I would like to show you. If I go to my ORBAT here, wrong one, here, and it's just lets you see the sort of thing you'll be able to do with this module, assuming that you haven't seen it in the campaign. Now it's all done by it's all done in the description.ext in your mission file, and you create your army from configs, from config classes. So if we go into the map here, you can see that I've put some modules on the map, and we can see where the 5th Alchin Battalion is. You can see where A Company is, and you can see what the platoons of A Company are. If we can then click on these ones here, then you can see the entire battalion at a glance. You can see we've got an HQ company here, so we've got an A company, B company, through to C company, and battalion command. And I'm not going to show you how to make this because this is rather long. What I am going to show you is how to create just a very small 2-unit ORBAT. And then you can, from this, you can extrapolate it, and you can learn how to create your own ORBATs on the fly. So the very first thing we're going to need, doesn't matter where we put them, just a man for us to use. Press F7, go down to modules, or along here I believe it's the 3 boxes. Double click, go into category strategic, module, ORBAT group. So okay, that's it. Save this. And I will alt tab out of the game, and I will see you soon, so we can fix up this description.ext. Okay, and so now we're out of the game, we'll be in our missions folder. You should know what this is by now, but if you don't, you'll find it in your documents, ArmA 3 other profiles, PT Evans D, or your username. In this case it's PT Evans D for me. Then your missions folder, and then your mission name. In this case it is ORBAT tutorial video.altis. In there you'll find your mission.sqm, and you need to create a description.ext file. Very simple to do. Simply right click, new, text document, and then put description.ext. Okay, the capitals won't really matter, but just looks a bit less shouty. You should do it like that. So then just press enter, and it will confirm you want to change the file extension, say yes, and you'll have it created. I already have one, so I'm just going to say no and delete this document here. So now we open up our description.ext, and the very first thing we need to do is specify for the mission that it's going to be a config class. So it's class, capital C, FG, ORBAT. Then put our curly brackets in to specify that's where the code is going to go. Once we've done that, we need to specify our very first class in the ORBAT. This is going to take the form, so I'm going to do it in the form of a platoon, so I'm just going to make this to be 1 plat. Make sure your class name is small enough that it's easy to reference, and it's easy to remember in case you need to remember it on the fly. Okay, so the very first argument in our class is going to be ID. This takes the form of a number. It can be anything between 0 and anything you want. And this is going to be used in the ID type and next field, which I'll come on to very soon, to display how it's displayed. So I'm just going to go with ID 1. Now ID type is where we decide how ID 1 is displayed. Now 0 will display a number, so this will show first or just simply 1. ID type 1 will display this as a Roman numeral, so in this case it would be ID I, also it would number I, sorry. And 2 will display a letter, so in this case it would be A, alpha. I'm just going to go with 0 because I just want this to be a number. Then need to specify what side the unit is on. This is done in the string, so we've got these quotation marks, and if I bring up my ORBAT strings.txt, we can see we have a choice of west, east, resistance, and civilian and unknown. Now I'm just going to choose west. This is going to primarily just choose what colour the NATO icon is going to be. So west is blue, east is red, resistance is green, civilian I believe is purple, and unknown is yellow. I'd say this primarily just chooses what colour the icon is. So once we've done that, we need to say what size the unit is. Again, I'm making a platoon, one platoon. And we can see in here our sizes. We can have anything from a fire team to a section, a platoon, all the way up to an army group. So we have a platoon up here. Again, this is just going to show you choose what NATO icon to use. So in this case, a platoon, I don't know how much you know, a platoon is represented by 3 dots above the icon. In this case, as it's going to be a friendly icon, it will be a rectangle with 3 dots. We then need to say what type of platoon this is, what type of unit it is. Now, we can choose any of the types in here. So we're going to make an infantry unit, but this could be a recon unit, it could be fighters, it could be a medical unit, artillery, anything like that. Well, anything from these strings here anyway. Just going to put this into type, infantry. And again, this will decide what NATO icon is used, and infantry is simply a big cross through the middle of the box. Once we've done type, we then come across an optional input if you wish to put it in there. This is called insignia. Now insignia, if you play the ArmA 3 campaign, the player belongs to Task Force Aegis or Task Force Aegis, depending on how you wish to pronounce it. And the icon or insignia for Task Force Aegis is a Spartan helmet, or an ancient Greek warrior's helmet. This is how they specified that in the ORBAT, and that's done very simply by specifying the mission path to the .paa file, .papa alpha alpha file, and it should take the form of something maybe like it starts in your mission folder, maybe it goes into pictures, insignia .paa, something simple as that. I'm not going to do this, but I'm just going to leave it in here for the next step, which is color insignia. Again, if you've played the campaign, the Task Force Aegis insignia is blue, and the way they did that is with this argument. It's color insignia square brackets equals, and you use a red, green, blue alpha array. Now the Aegis logo is blue, so it'd be red is 0, green is 0, blue is 1, and alpha is 1, so it's visible. That's how it's done. So you could have, if you wanted it to be red, obviously change that one that's 1 and that one's 0. It's all done nice and simple like that. But as I say, I don't have an insignia, so I'm just going to delete that. We then come across the commander field. Let's get rid of this capitals. A command is a string, anything that you want. In this case, I'm just going to inflate my ego and say it's me. We then can say the commander rank, and that can be a string from any of these options here. Let's get rid of that bit there. There we go. Now, in the British Army, platoons are generally commanded by lieutenants. So I'm just going to copy that string across to here. We'll then come across another optional line, which is tags. Square brackets and there. Now, honestly, I don't know what tags do. If you do, please tell me in the comments, and I will amend the video. But honestly, I've got no idea what they do. But it can be things like BIS, carry, US, basically anything that you want to tag this class in. I don't know what it does, if it helps, if it hinders. Someone, if you know, please do tell me. Someone's going to take them out. Next we have text, and this is going to be the name of the unit. It's going to be, again, anything that you want, but in here we've got a couple of special characters we can use. So for example, we've got 3 choices from here. We've got %1, %2 and %3. Now %1 will reference this bit up here, the ID and type. So in this case, it will show 1, it's a number, so it will show up as first, 1st. So it will show up here as first. Number 2 will show the type of unit it is. This is infantry, so this will show up as first infantry. And %3 is the size. In this case, it's platoon, so it will show up as first infantry platoon. I'm going to leave this in there just so you can see what that looks like. When we go into text short, this is how it is displayed in the ORBAT. This is the very quick descriptor. We're going to change this to 1 platoon. Or, should you wish to not do it like that, again we're going to use our special characters here. We can use %1, %3. First platoon. Now once we've done that, we can then specify, if we wish to, a texture. Now this texture will very simply be, again, a path within the .paa file, and this is to overwrite the NATO symbol if you wish to. So if you don't want that blue box with the cross through it and the 3 dots at the top, this is where you do it. Again, missions, NATO symbol .paa, for example. Nice and simple like that. Let's get rid of that bit there, because I don't have any of these .paa, so I'm just going to keep it as the basics. We can then, if we wish to, specify a colour for it. And again, this will use a red, green, blue, and alpha array. And as I say, the side will primarily choose what colour it is, should you not put in this argument. But I'm just going to show you how it can change, so I'm just going to make this icon red. Make this 1, 0, 0, and 1. We can then specify, should we wish to, any assets that this platoon has at its disposal to use in the AA. This is going to take the form of class names, and the best way to find your class names, if I could change this quickly, the best way to find your class names is to go to the BI forums. That is at community.bistudio.com/wiki/ArmA_3_assets. Now, as I say, we're a Blue Force site, so I'm going to go into the Blue Force section here. I'm going to say that they have got a helicopter to transport them around at their disposal. So just quickly scroll down until we find helicopters, which are here. I'm just going to grab this first transport heli, the Ghost Hawk. Just copy this class name here, go into our description.exe, paste that in there, and this will show up when you mouse over your unit in the ORBAT. Our final argument is a subordinates argument, and this is where we specify anything that is junior to this. Now, there are two ways to do this. This is the first way. We say subordinates square brackets equals. Specify, make sure I spell that right. Subordinates. Yep. Okay. And it goes in these curly brackets here, and you have your subclasses. So down here you would then have class 1 sec, for example, and then you would have your code in there. And then here you would specify 1 sec, and it would say that it would be 1 platoon, and then junior to that you would have 1 section. I personally find that this isn't the best way to do it. I've never really got that way to work terribly well for me. So there's another way to do it I'm going to show you now. We get rid of this subordinates class here, and we can create a child class inside this parent class. Very simple. Again, just simply go class 1 sec, and then we put in our curly brackets, and I'm just going to very quickly paste in this code down here. Let's get this bit out of the way, but I'm just going to use this very basically. It's very basic code. As you can see, just ID, type, side, size. Don't have any of this assets or any of this color. It's all just all the basics. This is the bare minimum that you need. Again, let's just change this to %1. Why not? Okay, so now we will save this, and we'll get back in game. Okay, so now we're back into the game, and we've got our man here, and we've got our ORBAT module. We've created our description.ext, and now if we double click on the ORBAT module, we can get into putting in some paths here to actually display symbols and display our ORBAT. Now, a quick note here: the CFG ORBAT path, this first line along here, this is the path to the item that you wish to display on the map at the location of the module. So right here, where this ORBAT group here is, whatever we put in this path here is the one that will be displayed, the marker will be displayed there. The ceiling here, the CFG ORBAT ceiling, is the highest unit displayed, so that will be, for example, the highest rank, as it were, displayed, or in this case the parent class, this will be 1 platoon. So first of all, to make the ORBAT path, we're going to show one section in there, and we're going to say mission config file, then put our 2 arrows. Then in quotation marks we need to do capital C, FG in capitals orbit, or BAT even. Again, our 2 arrows. Then we want 1 plat, and then because 1 sec is a child class of 1 plat, we then need to say 1 sec. In CFG ORBAT ceiling, it's pretty much exactly the same thing. We just have to say mission config file, our arrows, CFG ORBAT 1 plat. Simple as, that's it. And all it's saying is, look in the missions config file, look in this missions config file, find CFG ORBAT, find a class named 1 platoon. This one here is doing exactly the same thing, find class CFG ORBAT, find class 1 platoon, and then find the child class 1 sec. If we just say OK to that, let's give that a quick save, and let's say preview. Okay, so just press M, and there we go. We've got first fire team because I was silly, it seems, and I put in the wrong string. I believe that fire team and section actually have been swapped around, so it's not quite the same, not quite the right thing. Actually, it's a bit of a bug. So we need to change that one when we get around to it. But it just lets you show, so it just lets you see what it's capable of at the moment. So now if we click on our icon here, we can see our entire ORBAT. See that first platoon, commanded by Lieutenant Evans, is in red thanks to our colour argument. It's got the 3 dots up here marking a platoon and the cross marking infantry. We have our 2 dots marking a section, in this case a fire team, it needs to be changed as they say, with the cross through it to mark infantry, and this is blue because it is side west. Obviously the colour in this one is overwriting the side west. We can then click on here and the map will move to our marker. We can also do this, and we can show, let's copy that module and put it over there. We can also show where 1 platoon itself is, and that is very simple again. Just get rid of the 1 sec where it's in the path. Show where class 1 platoon is. We'll then save it. We'll preview it. Go into the map, and we can see here we've got first fire team and first infantry platoon, and there is our assets. There are our assets, sorry. Which doesn't show up when you're highlighting the highest rank on here. However, it does show up on the map screen, so you can see what assets you have where at a glance. And again, this is just a fantastic way of adding that extra bit of depth into your missions by perhaps letting your units see a bit more of the backstory during your briefings, perhaps something like that. This has an extra bit of depth, so you can say, we are here, they are there, go at it. Well, I hope this has been enjoyable, I hope it's been educating. If you have any questions for me, then please tell me. If you have any hints or tips about what I could do better, what I've done wrong, if you know what the tags are in the description file that I was struggling with, then please let me know. As I say, I'm very new to this, so I value all your input. Thank you very much indeed. Have a very good night, very good game.